never win over an arrogant or ignorant person, because an ignorant or arrogant person will never admit defeat, no matter how overwhelming your case is. And this is a trait that often belongs to politicians because they are, 1, so convinced that what they say is the best way, the absolute truth, and any form of criticism that differs from that is simply wrong. 2, they will never admit to the obvious wrongdoing and they will try to move the discussion somewhere else. This is very annoying and sometimes even infuriating. Question: is arrogance a feeling or more of a trait or a tool that people use in social situations? In my book, they all intertwine. Because believe me, an arrogant person will bring out feelings. So, am I an arrogant person, or are there traits of me that people might interpret as arrogance? How different is my online persona, the Swedish lad, from Martin, the guy who functions out in the real world? My first question for you to answer, and this one concerns the people that have met me offline several times, the people that know me. Question is, how different am I, this persona, the Swedish lad, from the person that you meet out in the streets or at your apartment or at a coffee house? And through your answers, it will be interesting to see how the people that only know me from YouTube and possibly Facebook and Twitter imagine me to be. Here's what I think. I do consider myself a humble man, like Bastian.
Is it really me?
I try to keep it real.
It's not real, it's only a story.
I try to be a realist and a calm person.
But I can't, I have to keep my feet on the ground.
I love wordplay, and among the people that I know, I will often pull out what other people might consider inappropriate jokes and innuendos. I always try to be considerate to the other person, which is the main reason why I do think that I am not overly an arrogant person. I could never be a good prosecutor because I always think that in a certain person, in a certain persona that you meet, there is something about him or her, and the reason that they are the way they are, and I may not like it, is not their fault. One thing in their life has led to another, and that has now constructed what I see in front of me, this person, which for them is the normal state. For instance, if their parents were both deceived at some point, they might have become really cynical, and when they had a kid, some of that cynical feelings was then transferred over to the kid in the uprising, and so when I meet this person coming from, a different kind of upbringing, clashes happen, and that's when we realize that we are on different levels, whereas one of us might be considered more arrogant because of their upbringing, and the other might be considered somewhat more humble because of their upbringing. But I always take the Luke Skywalker approach, where I think that there is good in him. There is good in him. And I honestly think there is. Even in the most arrogant person, a person that will make you feel so small and insecure, there is still somewhat of a rosebud inside him or her. So tell me, do you consider yourself to be an arrogant person, or are there traits of you or different situations where you simply become an arrogant person? Or have you been the victim, an obvious victim of a person who was extremely arrogant, and how did you react to that? And the final question of the video before I hand you over to writing comments and await next week's video from Amanda: can you really win over an ignorant person?